Hello again and welcome to Spotlight. I'm Al Gurnov, and today we're going to talk about war and peace in Europe. A troika of the EU, US and Russian mediators in talks on the Kosovo conflict told UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon in a report on Friday that the mission failed because neither side was willing to give way on the fundamental issue of the sovereignty over Kosovo. What will follow? Are we witnessing a prelude to another war in the Balkans? To talk about these burning international issues, our guest today is the Russian representatives in the Kosovo negotiating troika, Ambassador Aleksandr Botsan-Kharchenko.
Aleksandr Botsan-Kharchenko was appointed as the Russian representative to the Kosovo negotiating troika when it was created in July. On December the 7th, the troika made up of the US, EU and Russia presented a report on the Kosovo issue to the UN. There's been a long history of conflict in the Balkans. In 1912, Serbia seized Kosovo from the Turkish Ottoman Empire, assuming control. The Kosovo area is predominantly ethnic Albanian. During the 1980s, Kosovan Albanians increasingly sought to obtain federal republic status for the province, a measure which caused tense relations with the Serbs. On July the 2nd, 1990, an unconstitutional Kosovo parliament declared Kosovo independent, although this wasn't recognized by Belgrade and certain other countries. In 1998, the Kosovo Liberation Army became increasingly influential in rural areas of Kosovo. This provoked retaliation from Serbian security forces, and NATO intervened in 1999. Ever since, Kosovo has been under United Nations administration while formally remaining part of Serbia. For the Kosovan Albanians, recent events in Kosovo only serve to emphasize Serbian oppression and domination. But from the Serbian perspective, Kosovo has been the cradle of the Serbs since the Middle Ages. In June, President Bush made clear the United States' commitment to Kosovo's independence. The US and the EU have stuck to a UN proposal calling for the independence of the province. Russia has opposed this, however, and at the beginning of the year stopped the UN from accepting a resolution which would grant Kosovo independence.
Hello, Your Excellency, and welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hello, thank you very much for being with us. Well, Mr. Botsan-Kharchenko, you have been a special Russian envoy to the Balkans since 2004, if I'm not mistaken. You've seen lots of ups and downs in policies in this troubled region. Well, this time, the recent report, Friday's report of the Troika, where you represent Moscow, is it a failure of Russian diplomacy?
So allow me in the beginning to make brief description of the Troika report submitted to UN Secretary General on Friday. So basically it is a factual paper. It is facts-based account. Mm-hmm. And I believe it is clear, given huge differences in national positions of Russia, EU, and the USA, we, as Troika members, couldn't arrive at common conclusions of the outcome or common recommendations on way forward. So we, in fact, we have summarized what we achieved.
During the past 6 months, yeah?
Yes, during 4 months.
4 months.
During about 120 days of the so-called the period of additional engagement of the parties. Mm-hmm. Basically, I don't see that these negotiations led by the Troika is failure. Mm-hmm. Of course, it is not a success. It is clear, and we haven't stated in this report that this negotiating period is a failure. We mentioned that parties, unfortunately, were not able to reach compromise over disputed status of Kosovo. So the core issue of the Kosovo settlement. But nevertheless, I believe there is evident progress in course of these negotiations. First of all, parties to negotiations engaged in most substantive high-level discussions or dialogue, including a lot of face-to-face discussions, most substantive, most focused and detailed since 1999. And so I have no doubts in my mind it is a progress.
Well,
it is a progress.
You call it progress, but you admit that there was no result actually in your work during the past 100-something days. So the absence of result should be called a failure, but you say it's not. Why?
It's not because in course of these face-to-face discussions, parties, as I see, in fact, I was witness how parties began to establish confidence.
You mean the Albanians and the Serbs?
Kosovo Albanians and the Serbs. I mean, high-level representation of both parties. And so, in fact, during this period, they began or made first steps on the path of confidence building. Of course, only first steps. There is a long path ahead, but it is a progress. It is achievement of the troika and of the parties.
Okay, this was the opinion of the Russian representative. Let's have a look at how the United States diplomacy sees the situation.